This is a Friday Shoes production. This is lesson 9-2 in our books on page 469, and the target is I can complete function tables and understand functions. Well, what is a function? Function is a relationship that assigns exactly one output value for each input value. And functions are often written as equations. And here's an equation shown here, but in function format. So the f with parentheses x is read the function of x, or more simply, f of x. It is the output. We're going to plug numbers in for x, and that's the input, and then we're going to get f of x out, and that's your output. All right, to find the value of a function for a certain number, again, we substitute the number for the variable x in the function. What does all that mean? Well, it's real simple. It's just the formatting that's different and the notation. So what do we do here? It says find each function value. So f of 9, if f of x is equal to x minus 5, it's kind of like a machine. We're going to take this 9 and we're actually going to plug it in for the x value in the function. So literally take the 9, you put it in for x, and then you just do the math on the right side there, 9 minus 5, which is 4. So the function of 9, or the f of 9, 9 being put into this machine, I'll call it a machine, generates a 4. 9 minus 5 is 4. So f of 9 is equal to 4. Again, it's an input-output thing. You put in 9, you got out 4. All right, let's look at number 2. Same type of concept. You have negative 3 now. The function's changed. It's 2x plus 1. So what do? We take the negative 3, we place it inside the x, and we do the math on the right side there. 2 times negative 3 plus 1. That's negative 6 plus 1, or negative 5. So when the x value is negative 3, our function value is negative 5. So we would say f of negative 3 is equal to negative 5. Input is negative 3, output is negative 5. All right, how about you try it a couple times? Pause the video, try these, come on back, see how you did. All right, the first one says, find each function value here. You're going to type it, or you're going to take the function of 2, or f of 2, plug it in, and do the math to get what the function value is. So again, we place 2 inside. 2 minus 4 is negative 2. So the function of 2 is negative 2, meaning you put 2 in, you get negative 2 out when you do the math problem. All right, same over here on B. F of 6, let's place 6 inside for x. And we have 2 times 6 minus 8. That's 12 minus 8, which of course is 4. So the function of 6 is 4, given this function. All right, the set of input values, the ones we're putting in, the x values, is called the domain. The set of output values is called the range. Those are your f of x's, what you're actually getting. The output values are the range values. You can organize the input rule, and output into a function table. You see it here. Here is a function table. All right, making a function table and actually completing one. Here's number 3. Complete the function table for f of x is equal to x plus 5. Then state the domain and range of the function. So we're going to talk about how do you write domain and range of a function. We'll take a look here. First of all, they created this table. You can see there's an input, there's an output, and in the middle is the rule. And you'll see how they use it down at the bottom there. You're going to put inputs in, the negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1. You do the math problem once you put it into the function, and you get the value out. In this case, it's going to be 3, 4, 5, 6. So again, substitute each value of x, or your input, into the function rule. Then simplify to find the output. Do the math problem. And then, of course, your domain and your range are, the domain is the x values, and the range is the y values. Now take a look. I'll even highlight it for you. So your input is going to be your x values. You can see that's negative 2, negative 1, 0, 1. Those are your x values you're putting in. And then what you get out are your range values, which are your output values. We call those 3, 4, 5, and 6. So it's just stating them. Use braces there to actually do that. All right, you give it a shot here. It says copy and complete each function table, then state the domain and range of the function. Pause the video, try it, come on back, see how you do. All right, function of x is x minus 7. So what's the first thing we do? I can see we have some x values that they've given us, negative 3, negative 2, negative 1, 0. We're going to plug all those in. and do the math. And I've done it for you here. Hopefully that's what you've gotten. -10, -9, -8, -7 as the output or your domain, or excuse me, your range. Now, they want you to name the domain and the range, so check it out. Your x values, the things you're putting in, are called your domain. Real simple. You put them in braces, and you just, as they go, you write them down. -3, -2, -1, 0. And then how do you write the range? Well, it's just what you had for your output, all right? So you have -10, -9, -8, -7. That's your range, and that's how you would write it. That's the notation to use. All right, how about D? Same thing. We plug our -5 into the function, and we get -20, -12, 8, and 20 out. So your inputs, your domains, are -5, -3, 2, and 5. And then your range, it's going to be your outputs, -20, -12, 8, and 20. How about E here? Same thing. We plug our -1, 2, 3, and 5 inside, do the math. We have 1, 7, 9, and 13 as our range. So our domain are our input values, and our range is our output values. Simple. Just the naming might be a little bit different. All right, sometimes functions are written using two variables. Instead of using the f of x, they'll use y. It says one variable is usually x and represents the input, and the other, usually y, represents the output. So notice how they've taken that f of x thing, thrown it away, and used y instead. So the function in example 3 that we just did can also be written as y equals x plus 5, instead of f of x equals x plus 5. How about the example here? It says a veterinary technician needs to administer medication to a dog. The dosage is 5 milligrams of medication for every 1 pound of weight. Write a function to represent the amount of medication M needed for P pounds of weight. So we're going to have an M and a P in this. Then determine how much medication to give to a dog that weighs 33 pounds. This seems like a very typical thing that a veterinarian would be doing. All right, so they talk about the amount of medication. That's M. We have an equal sign, then 5 times the number of pounds. We have 5 times. And the number of pounds will be P. So there you are. The function would be M is equal to 5 times P, and that represents the situation. Now, to find the amount of medication needed for a 33-pound dog, you substitute 33 in for the pounds. Easy enough. Take 33, plug it in for P. 5 times 33 is 165. So the technician should give the dog 165 milligrams of medication. All right, how about you on this one? An air conditioner repair service charges $60 for a service call plus $30 per hour for labor. Write a function to represent the charge C, the total cost, for a service call with H hours of labor. How much would the charge be if there are 3 hours of labor? So there's 2 things they want us to do here. Write a function and then also calculate for a 3-hour service call. All right, well, step 1, let's make sure we have all of our variables and understand what they are. So H is going to stand for hours. C is going to be the total charge that they would charge us, or the cost of this visit. So when we look at the information given, we have the cost has got to be equal to $60 plus $30 times however many hours that you have. So 30 times H plus 60 would also be a way you could write that. Now, there is our function. That is it. What we need to do is find out how many or how much it's going to cost for a 3-hour labor charge on visit. So we would take our formula and we would take that H out and plug in 3 hours. So when we do that, you'll see we have 30 times 3 plus the 60. That's 90 plus 60. That's 150. So that's $150 cost for 3 hours of labor. Don't forget, for better understanding, you can always rewatch this video or read the examples in the book, or you can watch some of the personal tutor videos they have online on our online textbook. As usual, this has been a Friday Shoes production.